From speedboats to bodies found in barrels, lots of strange things are starting to show up at Lake Mead as the water levels continue to drop, like the stock market. Today we take to the shores of Lake Mead and see if we can find some of the iconic boats that have been surfacing over the past few weeks. Then we'll venture over to Hoover Dam and see how things are looking over there, and learn a little bit about the things that will be impacted as the water levels continue to drop. Let's roll.
Dude, I think I found it. Is that the World War II boat? I think it is. I think it is.
Just look at all this junk that's been popping up. There's a big tire over there. Of course, we have the World War II boat right there. That is awesome. And I saw another boat on the other side further down, so we're gonna see how close we can get. A little buoy there. We got the marina. There's a whole bunch of stuff out here. There's this, I don't know, steel pole, piece of wood. I'm gonna show you guys some of the other stuff that we find today too. Oh dang, yep, that is the soft stuff that we do not want to get stuck in. Like a piece of wood right there. This is awesome. Not sure how well you guys can hear me because it is pretty freaking windy out here, but that's the boat. I'm guessing that was the back and that was the front. I guess this sank sometime around the early 1940s from what I found online, and it sat 185 feet below the surface of the water. Can you imagine how high the water had to be? There's the ring line over there. All this at one point where I'm standing right now, all completely underwater, and a lot of this looks pretty recent too. But the grass is thriving. You can definitely see a lot of footprints from people that have been out here recently. I was gonna come out here on the 4th of July, but I figured it'd be way too busy, so I kind of scrapped that idea. But it's pretty mellow out here today. That is some pretty cool emerald water. I wish I would have brought my snorkel, my flippers. Part of me really wants to jump in that water, but I know if I actually stand in it, I'm probably gonna stick, because that is just like paste at this point. But the water looks really, really cool. Alright, so a quick history lesson for you here. This was known as an LCVP boat, Landing Craft Vehicle Personnel, also known as the Higgins boat. They were manufactured between the years of 1942 and 1945, known famously in World War II for being used in the beach landings in Normandy. They could hold up to 36 men and cruise up to 12 knots, or 14 miles per hour. Here's a photo of the one that we found in Lake Mead, and here's a photo of what one would have looked like back in the day. Alright, so at some point here we're going to have to cross because we're going to go over there and check out that other sailboat that I saw kind of in the distance. But we got to cross right here, and we got to be careful because if this stuff is soft, we don't want to sink. You can see an umbrella in there though too. Probably going to see a lot more stuff here as the day goes on. It's just so crazy to think that, you know, maybe even just weeks ago, where we're standing right now would have all been underwater. I've been trying to keep up with the news as much as I can, but they definitely make it seem like it's been dropping more so recently than it has been, you know, in the past, you know, few years or so. It's definitely a very delicate time, so that's why I wanted to come out here and make this video and just kind of see firsthand what was going on. I mean, you can see the, what do they call it, the bathtub line from right here. It's pretty darn noticeable. Check it out, dudes. We got a coyote over there. Looks like he's getting a drink of some water, taking a bath, maybe looking for some fish. Maybe he's trying to find the sunken boats just like we are. It's just one coyote, so I think we'll be okay. I've never encountered one before, but I'm just gonna go with the motto of he's more afraid of me than I am of him. But I'm not too worried because one, I have thumbs, and just like in the movie It, rocks. Ammo. We're gonna keep our distance. I gave him a nickname too. I called him Nicholas, so we're gonna go around there and hopefully Nicholas doesn't give us a hard time. Look everybody, we found the SS Minnow. Take a look at this. Who knows how long it's been sitting here. Obviously it's been sitting here for a while, but nobody could see it because it was way underwater. But man, this is like buried treasure. We're gonna go ahead and take a peek inside. Let's see what we got. Just a bunch of like poles, maybe some tow straps. Trying to see if I can't make anything else out. Obviously we have the motor back here. Oh, we had two of them. If you guys know what kind of boat this was, let me know in the comments section down below. My first guess was the SS Minnow, but then again, that was like 50, 60 years ago, so that's a little outdated. I'll have to ask my buddy from back home. His name is Steven. He had a boat that honestly kind of looked similar to this. He was a boat guy, so I'll have to ask him for a picture of his boat and then do a comparison. But this is so cool. Yeah, it's not too often you find wreckage like this. I've seen some old cars in Phoenix down at the base of like the mountains and things like that. but I have never seen a boat like this. So as I continued to walk along the shoreline, I found other items such as fishing gear, chairs, boat parts, bottles, and mostly trash. But no bodies, which oddly enough I was kind of hoping to find. So far, 2 sets of human remains have been found at Lake Mead, and suspicion is being raised about them being mob related, which on paper sounds like it could be a strong possibility, but according to former Las Vegas Mayor Oscar Goodman, it is unlikely that it was a mob hit due to the fact that back in those days, there was sort of an unwritten rule to take care of any hits outside of the state, like in California or Arizona, to avoid bringing the Justice Department to Las Vegas. Oscar Goodman spent some time back in the day as an attorney representing mob figures, and things at this point are uncertain and more details are unfolding about these remains that are being found. It is also expected that as the levels continue to drop, additional human remains could be found. So after I wrapped up here, I decided to make my way to the famous speedboat that is now fully visible on the other end of Lake Mead. And hey, if you guys know what kind of boat this is, let me know in the comments section down below, and also let me know what you think happened to it. The word at the marina was that after a 3-hour tour, the weather started getting rough and the tiny ship was tossed, but I don't know if I believe that. Okay, so we parked our happy ass up there. There's an airplane, and then we have to hike all the way down here, and we're gonna go over there, and I guess that's where the speedboat is too. I did see what looked like another boat wreck over there somewhere, so if we, oh, actually right over there, so we'll check that one out on the way back, but we're gonna go check out the speedboat and see if it's still there. All right, so there's the boat. Everyone on YouTube has been saying the ground out there is really soft and to be really careful. We're gonna take one step at a time, but I think we'll be okay because it looks pretty darn dry all around. But let's just take 1 second to appreciate how green it is right here. Mother Nature is reclaiming itself, but then again, it's only a while before, you know, all that green stuff turns to brown stuff like you see right here. But let's get closer. Whoa, take a look at this. We found the speedboat that's been sunken into the sand and dirt here at the, well, somewhat beautiful Lake Mead, or what's left of it. Some guy on YouTube gave me the coordinates for this, and thank you if you see this video, I really do appreciate it. But here's that speedboat that's been popping up all over social media and YouTube. Can't believe we actually found it. Let's go take a look here at what we got. Got a couple batteries, some clothes, some Colgate toothpaste. I recommend Sensodyne, but what do I know? Some wires, hairbrush, shoes, a lot of clothing. Here we got the engines, or engine, I really don't know. I'm not a boat guy. Another battery, and then if we look up here, steering wheel. I wonder if we could, dude, that is awesome. Storage and sleeping quarters maybe. Like I said, I don't know, I'm not a boat person, but if you guys know, let me know in the comments section down below. This is just awesome. We got the gauges right here. I'm assuming this would have been the throttle. Shh. This is awesome. Radio. Coast Guard, Coast Guard. We have Jesse's Drone Adventures in Lake Mead. Damn right we do. We're gonna walk out here a little bit and see what views we can get, at least where it's safe. It's pretty soft right there, it looks like, and I don't want to die. But if I do, when you guys find this footage, you can put an awesome movie together. Jesse's Drone Adventures Last Minutes. This is something. You know, let it be said that it is pretty sad to know what's happening to Lake Mead and everything that's impacted by the receding water lines. But at the same time, it's quite fascinating because how often do you get to see something like this? This kind of almost reminds me of, what was it, the tsunamis back in the early 2000s when, like, before the tsunami hit, they always say, like, it goes back out to sea and it looks like someone, like, pulled the plug, like in a bathtub, and just drains all the water. But of course, with tsunamis, it comes back. But with something like this, the drought, it doesn't. But like I said, it's pretty cool to see stuff like this, the things that are kind of like, you know, turning up on shore. Not that the bodies are cool, but I mean, it's just, you know, revealing a lot of stuff that we probably never thought we'd see. So one thing I'm definitely gonna do is I'm definitely gonna take a lot of pictures out here, not only from this place, but the other places that I went to today, because I just bought a year pass for Lake Mead, and I plan on coming back here quite a bit more just to kind of document the water levels and just see how fast things can change. Okay, so when I was parked up there and I was coming down and I was going to check out the speedboat, I saw this other boat wreck right here. Now this one doesn't look like it's been submerged underwater for a long period of time. Honestly, it looks like someone was probably towing it and it fell, and they probably just forgot about it. They're like, screw it, we don't want it. So I figured we'd at least take a look. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot left of it though. And yeah, you can totally tell, unlike the speedboat that we saw, this one does not look like it's been submerged underwater for a long period of time. If anything, it looks like it caught fire. Got the car battery up there. Don't think we're gonna find a whole lot of clues about this one, but we still have to come check it out. So where are the water levels right now at Hoover Dam, and what happens if it finally reaches DEADPOOL, and how soon could it happen? Well, I can answer one of those questions right off the bat. If it does reach DEADPOOL, the Southwest is probably fucked. So real quick, here's a photo of Hoover Dam shortly after its construction in 1935, and here's a photo of where the water level sits today, just to kind of give you an idea of how much further it has to drop before the water can no longer flow into the intake towers and power the turbines. In fact, here's a better diagram that I found on the web. As you can see, it only has to drop down to 895 feet before it hits DEADPOOL. DEADPOOL meaning the elevation at which the dam can no longer release water downstream. And this might be a little outdated because the current water level right now at the dam is about 1,047 feet. And I gotta say, every time I see that bathtub ring on Lake Mead, it's almost as depressing as watching a certain someone on TV trying to form a complete sentence without mumbling. Anyways, some experts say it could hit DEADPOOL by as late as 2030, while others forecast it could hit DEADPOOL within the next 2 to 5 years. Only time will tell. Here's another photo I took of Hoover Dam back in 2015. And here's another photo I took a few days ago meaning July 7th, 2022. And to give you a perspective at what Lake Mead looks like at full capacity, here's a photo from 1983, the last time the spill gates were used. And here's a photo from July 7th, 2022. As you can see, it's pretty friggin' empty. Almost like my wallet after I filled up my car with gas to get here. Who'd have thought? It's scary to think what might happen if Hoover Dam does reach DEADPOOL, let alone what might happen if it dries up completely. About 40 million people in the Southwest rely on Lake Mead Reservoir for water, and that includes Nevada, Arizona, Mexico, and for some reason, California. They really need to get their shit together. Hoover Dam also supplies power to about 1.3 million people throughout California, Arizona, and Nevada. Contingencies are already taking place to cut water consumption, but at the rate the water level has been dropping in recent years, which is about 12 feet per year, cutting water consumption will only do so much. And the way someone once explained it to me, the water level at Lake Mead is like a roll of toilet paper. The lower it gets, the quicker it goes. And hey, if you're new here, be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and be sure to click on the video right here. This is my most recent Hoover Dam and Lake Mead video. Be sure to watch that so you can be up to date with all my Lake Mead and Hoover Dam adventures. We'll see you guys on next week's episode. Take care.